Welcome to FilmRiot Mondays, a little bit of episode trivia for you. Even though it shows more videos on YouTube than this, that's just because we've had short films and other videos we put up on there. Today is actually our 666th episode of FilmRiot, episode 666. Yes, I know. Luckily, we're not superstitious because that would, oh God. I sometimes struggle with communicating with my actors about what I want for a scene. Any tips on helping them get to where I want without confusing or putting too much pressure on them? There's nothing wrong with going to your actor and sort of just telling them what the scene is trying to accomplish, what the character is trying to accomplish, which they should already know at this point, and sort of talking out how it should play out, what they think would happen, what they think the character would do, how they would react naturally, and let them sort of play it and guide it that way. Ask questions, get answers, ask more questions, and let it develop in a natural way. If you're having a hard time communicating or really figuring it out for yourself, that's a really good way to do it. If you have a definite opinion on what exactly should happen and you're having a hard time communicating that sort of thing, that's just something that you need to work on. You need to perfect those skills. That is a very massive skill set for a director, to be able to communicate clearly to your cast and crew so they know what it is that you want. And it doesn't have to be all fancy, artsy speech. It could be very plain and simple. In this moment, he's very happy because of X. I mean, I've talked about it on the show before where I've related it to things like, you know, that feeling, that gut feeling you have when you get caught in a lie. That's sort of the feeling that this character is having at this point. That's not totally helpful for everyone, so you got to also figure out what type of actor it is that you're working with and how they like to work, because some things just might not work for them. Saying speed it up, slow it down, you know, be a little bit more mad, less mad. Like, a lot of people don't know what that is or how to respond to that, but there are some people who do. So you got to figure out how to approach that specific actor as well. So it's all a learning experience for sure. There are so many different codecs in Adobe Premiere Pro. In your opinion, what is the best codec to use when exporting 1080p video for YouTube? Premiere actually has a preset for YouTube in the dropdown, so you could do YouTube at 1080, and that's actually really solid. It's kind of perfected for that medium, but we usually do H.264, and we usually put the bit rate somewhere between 15 and 20 depending on what we're putting out. Something like this doesn't need a really high bit rate, but if we're putting out something where we want to, you know, try to get the best quality possible, we'll put it up a little bit, but there's really very little difference. So just test some stuff out, upload it, keep it private, and just see what the different codecs do for you. Since 4K is becoming common, would I be better off finding 4K camera or sticking to 1080p? Thanks. It's really only something you can answer for yourself. I have bought 1080p cameras recently, so it really depends on how you shoot. However, as you said, everything is going 4K, and eventually everything will be 4K. So if you're trying to invest in a camera that is going to have longevity for you, that you're going to be able to carry with you throughout productions for a few years, then yes, I would definitely try to find something that also had 4K. If you're looking for something to start you out right now and will hold you over for, you know, a year or two as you raise money to get an even better camera, I don't think there's anything wrong with going 1080p. So I would base it on those two factors, really. So if you're trying to throw all your money into an investment that you want to last, make sure it has 4K. If you want something that can be something that will just hold you over for the next year or two, there's nothing wrong with grabbing 1080. Would you like to shoot on film if given the opportunity? I actually have shot on film. I shot on 16 and 35 in film school, and I remember what that process was like, and I would love to shoot on it now with more experience behind me to get that sort of magic of film work. But I remember what that process was like, and from talking to a lot of friends that have shot on it recently, there's a lot to it that is, you know, restricting into trying to make a thing and more expensive. And so I don't know. I would love to do it as sort of a test to see, you know, how much different the two things would be. There would definitely be more respect to every single take. That'd be for sure, because there is a finite amount of film inside that mag, and that is rolling out. So it would definitely change things. I would be very interested to try it out now and compare it to what it's like shooting digital. What did you think of Arrival? I loved it with my entire person, my soul, my heart, my body.
It gave me the feels.
So many feels. I'm gonna tell you this because we're friends. I probably every 5 years or so, I cry at a movie. I just don't cry at things, really. Maybe I'm just heartless, I don't know. But this one got me. I did cry at the end of The Arrival. Maybe it's because I'm a new dad. I don't know. I'm just sappier now. But man, what a good movie. It was so good. I tweeted out, just beautiful on every level. Looked amazing. The acting was amazing. The story was fantastic. I had like minor gripes with what the aliens looked like, but really, who cares? That's not what the film was about. I'm not going to say any more than that, because if you haven't seen it, just go see it. Go see it with your eyes, your face, your body, just all of it. Just point your person towards the screen and enjoy. As a director, what are the benefits and disadvantages of working with a screenwriter on a script rather than writing yourself? Obviously, you tend to write all your own scripts, so I'm wondering whether there are any reason you prefer working this way. I actually write my own scripts out of necessity, but also because I like writing and I am a writer and I write, and I have a lot of story ideas. I just have this folder of a ton of concepts that I definitely want to make. And the minority of them are concepts that I know for sure that I personally want to write alone in a room and quiet without any help. The majority of them are things that I would love to hire on a writer to help me write, and I would just steer that ship. That I know where I want this story to go, but I know I'm not the one to put pen to paper or finger to keyboard to actually make it happen. I'm sure, because I do write and I love writing, that no matter what it is, I'll always get my hands dirty and get in there and actually do some writing. But I also know what my weaknesses are. Some character structure and arc is, one of my weaknesses, and I would love to bring in somebody who those were their strengths, and I could just bring my strengths to the script. So I would definitely love that collaboration, especially because the script is the foundation of everything that comes after it. So I would love to get somebody that would just take any of my ideas and just level them up like crazy. But finding that partnership has been extremely difficult, because that is more of a marriage than anything else. That has to be lockstep with each other. And it has to be somebody that you can get mad at and then in the next minute be okay with, because you're getting your hands dirty big time artistically. Last question, dude, what are your opinions on TV and some of the more recent content from Netflix originals and such? Has it become more artistically expressive than movies? I don't think it's more or less artistically expressive. I just think it's a totally different medium of storytelling. On the one hand, you have television, which gives you a lot of time to really build out a story, really build out mysteries and questions and character. Films have to do that in a much smaller amount of time, so it's a lot more difficult to really get as invested in a film as you can in television. So I think a really well done television show will have you far more invested in the story and the characters than a film would almost every time, just because you have a lot more time to really get connected and care. Whereas film doesn't have that luxury. But they're two totally different things, of course. I actually tweeted about it before. What do you like better, features or series? Not meaning what do you like, what has a better story, because they're two totally different ways of telling a story, and people pointed that out, and that's the obvious thing. But what lately have you been finding yourself enjoying more? For me, it's been television series, because they've just been knocking it out of the park, and there's just been like Westworld currently. It's just amazing. Game of Thrones, House of Cards, Stranger Things, just tons of really good television. Tons of great films as well. Arrival, Hell or High Water, and the blockbusters, some good blockbusters as well. But just TV has been scratching the itch for me a little bit more. And I'm actually curious as to what you've been entertained by more recently, television or film. You can answer in a poll we'll put up in one direction, probably that direction.
One Direction.
One Direction, just click it. It'll probably be up there, and tell us which one you like better. If you're a budding filmmaker, entrepreneur, innovator, Domain.com is the place to go when the next idea hits you directly in the face.
You always say that.
I don't always.
Why does it always have to hit him in the face? They don't always have to be so violent about getting a friggin' website, Ryan.
Okay,
Why can't it hug him? Why can't it hug him in the face?
You've heard the list of available domain extensions is growing, but you now have the opportunity to name your site and build your brands in ways that were never before possible. What? Choose from a growing list of 400 plus domain name extensions like .com, .org, .net, and .club. What?
You're painting a bad picture.
And to show you some love, they're giving you 25% off their already affordable prices when you get domain names, web hosting, and email. Just use the coupon code FilmRiot at Domain.com's checkout. When you think domain names,
off your order.
I thought 2 seconds ago you wanted to be all.
I'm still upset.
When you think domain names, think Domain.com.
Just be more loving. That's all.
Logo. So that's it for today, which means it's time for my suggestion of the week. This one is a short film. It is a fan film for Majora's Mask, and it's actually unbelievably cool. I want this as a feature immediately, just immediately. Go right here and watch it. Whether you're a fan of Zelda or not, it is fantastic. It is unbelievably well done. But that is it. As always, until next time, don't forget to write, shoot, edit.